Alright, hello. This is my MS-200 paragraph 1 briefing. Alright, so the first squad is organized into 3 key elements to execute its mission effectively. Support by fire is responsible for providing suppressive fire to fix enemy forces in place, enabling main effort to advance. The element is equipped with M249 saws and M320 grenade launchers to maximize firepower. The main effort is tasked with assaulting and destroying enemy forces at OBJ Phantom, aiming to disrupt enemy reconnaissance, defensive operations. This element is also armed with M249 saws and M320 grenade launchers, as you can see attached to Squad 1. The isolation element is responsible for preventing enemy reinforcements from interfering with the assault by securing key terrain and disrupting enemy movement. It is also equipped with M240 machine guns and Javelin anti-armor systems. To engage both infantry and armored threats, the organization ensures effective suppression and decisive assault, and the isolation of enemy forces, increasing the squad ability to achieve mission success at OBJ Phantom. Alright, so this is our GTAO. Well, not our GTAO, sorry. This is our operations map. I'll reference you to this. So the operations area is defined with clear boundaries to provide ample maneuver space. Orient yourself to the northern point arrow, then transition to the AO's limits, which are marked distinctly by the landmarks. To the west, we have Benang River. So this is a great natural boundary that we have. Then we have the Hanine Coastal Range. So this long mountain that's again another natural boundary. The eastern edge, it defines the eastern edge. The northern limit, OBJ Reaper, which we'll see on later maps, and OBJ Phantom, the southern limit that we'll be going to. Alright, so a little bit more information on the area of operations. Area of operations is defined with boundaries from the 37th North, 31st South, 17th East, and the 10th West. The key terrain includes Hainan Coastal Range, which is a key terrain which restricts movement due to its steep nature, and Benang River, which also acts as a natural obstacle. The primary objective of OBJ Phantom is key in defensive positions, primary objective of OBJ Phantom is key defensive position expected to be heavily fortified by enemy forces. Enemy assets in the AO include attack helicopters at Taining Air Base, which have 30-minute reaction time when detecting U.S. battalion level forces. OBJ Phantom contains a PP-87 mortar actively firing from 0300 to 0800, and 1500 to 1900 hours with a 5-minute reaction time upon engagement. An enemy motorized platoon is held reserve at U.S. Forces 0845-2547, positioned to counter U.S. advances along the main supply routes, MSRs, with a 40-minute reaction time. Additionally, PL-66 152 howitzers stationed at Pu Evo Tantum provide indirect artillery support when U.S. forces larger than a squad are detected, with a 10-minute reaction time. Moving on to my GTAO, the Hainan Coastal Range presents steep terrain that significantly hinders movement and should be avoided. Wire obstacles further restrict high traffic areas, impacting both friendly and enemy forces. Natural obstacles such as Hainan River and Coastal Mountain Range and Bien River create additional mobility challenges, while man-made reinforcing obstacles like wire defenses limit maneuverability. The enemy is expected to defend major intersections near OBJ Phantom, down here, with likely anti-AAA positions at K2, right here. K2 along with Hainan Mountain Ridge, so it goes across the mountain ridge. Primary maneuver route due to its superior, A1 is the primary maneuver route due to its superior security, while Solely Industrial Road A2 serves as a riskier alternative. Going across here, this is A1. Is a riskier alternative because it has much less dense vegetation and it's more out in the open. And it's due more to exposure. More maneuver considerations emphasize the trade-offs between dense vegetation and open terrain. While dense vegetation near OBJ Phantom provides excellent concealment, it slows movement, whereas open terrain allows for faster maneuverability, but increase the risk of all enemy detection, particularly from overhead surveillance. The open fields near OBJ Phantom favor long-range and indirect fire engagements, while dense vegetation restricts direct fire but offers superior cover. Tactically securing key terrain such as K1, K2 is essential to disrupt enemy reinforcements and limit their ability to reposition. Friendly forces should prioritize AA1 for a security advantage, use dense vegetation for cover, and position themselves on high ground for effective engagements, given that the enemy defensive strategy resolves around OBJ Phantom and key intersections. Friendly forces must expect resistance, particularly from indirect fire like the PP-87 mortar. Alright, so on to our weather conditions. Weather conditions favor U.S. forces by enhancing stealth and reducing enemy detection. Visibility drops significantly at night due to low light and the moon rising at 1700 and setting by 0230, limiting elimination. Wind speeds remain minimal, less than 9 miles per hour at all times. Having little impact on operation. High humidity, about 60 to 75%. Precipitation create muddy, and the precipitation is going to create muddy terrain, slowing movement, and increasing energy and water demands from our soldiers. Cloud cover is about like 98%, so like almost fully. This further reduces new visibility, aiding stealth movements and hindering enemy UAS surveillance, so like above surveillance in the sky. Temperatures range from mid 70s to high 80s with humidity touching around like 83 to 89%. With this benefits accumulated enemy forces, it increases fatigue and dehydration risk for U.S. troops, requiring careful resource management. Overall, low visibility, cloud cover for favor U.S. stealth operations, but humidity and terrain challenges demand proper planning to maintain effectiveness. Alright, so onto our company SITEM, an enemy motorized infantry company at over 90% strength. It has 164 personnel. It is operating 2 levels up. Their most dangerous weapon is the PP-87A2 mortar, proposing a significant indirect fire threat. The QBZ-95 assault rifle, similar to the US M4, is their most common weapon. Their main effort is securing villages in AO to maintain strategic dominance. Key weapons include DZ-J08 anti-armor rockets, QBZ-95 rifles, QJ-Y88 machine guns, and QJ-28 heavy machine guns. First squad, U.S. advances along key routes. Second squad deploys HQ-16S air defense systems to counter U.S. air superiority, and SE-3 provides fire support via PP-87 mortars, mainly at Objective Phantom. Defensively, they fortify Objective Phantom using mortars for indirect fire along key terrain and MSR reserves at UF 0845-2547. Fire along key terrain and MSRs. A 40-minute delay in mobilization create a vulnerability when they excel in fortifications, long-range firepower, and anti-armor defense. Their weaknesses include poor intelligence on U.S. forces and reliance on motor teams for early warnings. Targeting these assets, disrupting reinforcements, and using stealth operations will be critical to gaining the advantage. Alright, so our platoon SITEM, enemy situation. The enemy platoon at 90% strength defends OBJ Phantom to block U.S. advances. The main effort secures key villages, so around here, with heavy weapons, while Squad 1 monitors route Camaro, so AA1. Squad 2 blocks access points, and Squad 3 provides indirect fire with PP-87 mortars. Where are they? Right here. Alright, fortifications of observation posts and strategic fire support strengthening their defense. So, the enemy squad at OBJ Phantom operating at 90% strength with 9 personnel defends the village using suppressive fire and indirect attacks. Their arsenal includes QBZ-95 rifles at QJY-88 machine gun, QBZ-95 rifles, QLG-10 grenade launchers, and PP-87 mortar, 20 to 40 rounds per period. They rely on urban cover, overlapping fire, and kill zones, but they are vulnerable due to static positions and mortar dependence. U.S. forces should neutralize the mortar team, disrupt coordination, and use maneuverability to dismantle defense and secure OBJ Phantom. So Mission Command, this is the enemy's capabilities. Mission Command, the platoon at HQ coordinates defenses via secure radios and mortar teams for early warnings, blocking positions and ambushes, movement and maneuver, blocking positions and ambushes sites along Route Camaro, A1 and intersections K1 and K2, slow U.S. advances, channeling them into engagement zones, and a motorized reserve. Intelligence, observation posts on high ground, monitor U.S. movements with mortar teams, providing early warnings, possible electronic warfare. Fires, PP-87, 82 mortars at Objective Phantom are pre-registered on U.S. approach routes, firing 20 to 40 rounds per period. Machine guns and anti-armor weapons create overlapping kill zones, while HQ-16 air defense limit close air support. Eliminating mortars and fire control elements will weaken enemy firepower. Sustainment, enemy relies on pre-positioned supplies for prolonged resistance. Disrupting supply lines will force them to deplete resources, reducing their defensive capability. Protection, the enemy relies on pre-positioned supplies for prolonged protection, fortified structures, urban terrain, wire barriers, and IEDs, slow U.S. advances. And that's for their capabilities. Their sit time. So the enemy. So most likely, the course of action: the enemy will defend OBJ Phantom with fortified positions, interactive fire, observation points to delay U.S. forces. Mortars will fix U.S. troops in preset kill zones where machine guns and anti-armor weapons maximize damage. Most dangerous course of action: the enemy may go on an offensive, engaging U.S. forces early and with ambushes and rapid repositioning. Mechanized reserves could flank and cut supplies. Urban IEDs and booby traps may slow clearing observations. If loses mount, they could shift to guerrilla tactics, using hit and run attacks to prolong resistance. Alright. At 2 levels up, the mission is to attack. At 2 levels up, the mission is to attack and secure OBJ Phantom, denying enemy influence and controlling key terrain. The intent is to neutralize defense, disrupt reinforcements, and establish a foothold for further operations. At 1 level up, the platoon mission is to seize OBJ Phantom by eliminating enemy defenses and preventing reinforcements. The intent is to execute a coordinated assault, neutralize mortars, secure key intersections, and cut off enemy retreat routes. Success is defined by eliminating resistance, securing OBJ Phantom, and establishing a defensive parameter. To reiterate our mission statement for my closing statement: Charger Company 1-5 Infantry Battalion disrupts enemy forces AO Robin no later than 30/22 August 24 in order to deny enemy influence on battalion. Alright, that concludes my brief. Pending any questions. Thank you.
Gentlemen.